The party was in full swing. The air was thick with the smell of drinks, perfume, and sweat. Laughter echoed through the massive living room, blending into the heavy bass of the music. You adjusted your dress as you sat on the couch, phone in hand, rereading the last text Jungkook sent you. Wine, I told you not to go to that guy's party. Leave now. You sighed, thumbs hovering over the keyboard. I'll leave soon. My friends are still here. You glanced around, spotting Yura and Hana laughing as they sipped their drinks near the dance floor. Jungkook still babysitting you? Yura teased, plopping down next to you. You rolled your eyes. He's not babysitting me. You muttered, pocketing your phone. I wonder how did he allow you to come to Min's birthday party? He hates Min, huh? Hana smirked. You hesitated before nodding. I don't think he hates him. He just doesn't trust him. Min was your friend, not a close one, but friendly enough. He was the campus golden boy, popular, rich, effortlessly charming. You never had a reason to dislike him, but Jungkook loathed him. You never fully understood why. Yura nudged your arm. Come on, at least have a drink before you go. You shook your head. I really should leave soon. One drink, Hana insisted, holding up a glass. It's Min's birthday. It would be rude not to. You hesitated. Jungkook had told you not to drink here. But refusing in front of Min's crowd felt awkward. Sighing, you took the glass. Fine, just one. The liquid was sweet, barely tasting like alcohol. Your friends cheered before heading off to the dance floor, leaving you alone. You pulled your phone out again, about to text Jungkook, but your fingers felt heavy. Your body felt warmer, your vision slightly hazy at the edges. You blinked, the music suddenly seemed distant, like it was underwater. Something was wrong with you. Wyan, a familiar voice called. Min. He slid onto the couch beside you, his usual smirk in place. Enjoying the party? He asked, resting his arm on the back of the couch. You forced a smile, trying to push away the dizzy feeling. Yeah, I was just about to leave. Min chuckled. So soon? Stay a little longer, it's my birthday. He shifted uncomfortably. Jungkook is waiting for me. Min scoffed, leaning in slightly. Jungkook, does he still control you like a doll, huh? You looked at him, although now it was getting hard for you to keep your eyes open. He's not like that. He just cared about me and I think I should leave. You stood up to leave, but your legs wobbled and you dropped back on the couch. Ash, what's happening to me? You mumbled, clutching the armrest as you tried to steady yourself. Min, however, remained calm, his smirk growing. You don't need to leave yet. You need to rest. You are not going anywhere in this state. You tried to protest, but your body felt like it was giving out. Your vision flickered and all you could focus on was Min's face. His expression was unreadable. No, I don't. You tried to say, but your words felt disconnected from your actions. Min didn't give you a chance to argue. He gently placed a hand on your shoulder. His touch sent a chill down your spine. Come on, you're exhausted. Let's go upstairs, get some rest. It will only be a minute. The warmth of his hand against your skin was so distracting and you felt weak, unable to even protest properly. Your body was urging you to listen, but your mind was screaming at you to get up and leave. But the more you tried to move, the more the world spun. You felt the world around you blur, and the only thing that felt real was Min's steady grip on your arm, guiding you. You couldn't resist when he helped you stand again, leading you up the stairs. Min, please, I need to go. You're not well, just rest a bit. You can go when you feel better. Min insisted, his voice almost too sweet as he guided you to his room. You were too dizzy to argue. Every part of you screamed to leave, to stop him, but you couldn't get your body to cooperate. Once inside his room, Min gently pushed you towards the bed. There, just relax. You felt your back hit the soft mattress, your body sinking into the sheets. You tried to move to sit up, but the room spun again. You blinked rapidly, trying to clear your vision, but it was no use. Your mind was clouded and your body felt entirely out of your control. You tried to speak, but only a soft gasp left your lips when Min leaned over you. His breath was hot against your ear as he whispered, "You don't have to pretend, Mahin. I know you want this." He leaned closer to kiss you, caressing your cheeks. He had been eyeing on you for years. He always wanted you to make his, but no one can even look at you the wrong way in front of Jungkook. You shook your head even in such a weak state. No. Jungkook's jaw was tight as he stepped into the crowded party, eyes scanning the room. He wasn't supposed to be here, but he was worried about you, so he came to pick you up. He had a bad feeling. He told you not to come. His fingers curled around his phone as he checked your last message. "I'll leave soon." His eyes flickered towards the dance floor. No sign of you. He started towards the kitchen when he heard someone whisper, "Did you see Min take Ryan upstairs?" Jungkook's body went rigid. His pulse spiked as he bolted for the stairs, shoving past drunken party-goers. His heart pounded against his ribs. The door to one of the bedrooms was slightly open. Jungkook kicked the door wide open, and what he saw made his blood run cold. You were lying on the bed. Min was hovering over you, his mouth inches from yours as he just kissed you. Your hands were weakly pressed against his chest, failing to push him away. Your dress was slightly off your shoulder and Min's fingers were gripping your waist, his other hand dangerously close to sliding under the fabric. Jungkook didn't think. He moved. Before Min could react, a fist collided with his jaw, sending him crashing to the floor. "What the hell?" Min yelled, holding his face. Jungkook didn't answer, didn't hesitate. He grabbed Min by the collar, pulling him up just to land another punch. Blood splattered across the floor. He knew you can't tolerate drinks, and that's why he told you not to drink. "Why are you beating me? She wanted this." Jungkook's stomach twisted, his hands clenched into fists. He turned away. He couldn't look at you, not like this. You were smiling, not even in your senses, and here his world shattered. Without another word, he bent down, lifting you into his arms. Your body slumped against his chest. You were giggling. Min shoved his hands into his pockets. "She didn't exactly say no, you know." Jungkook stiffened, his grip tightened around you. "She wanted this," Min added with a smug grin. Jungkook's stomach twisted, his throat burned. He didn't respond, didn't punch him, didn't yell, because it wasn't Min's words that shattered him, it was yours. The way you curled into him, mumbling with a lazy smile, like nothing happened, like you didn't just let another guy kiss you. Jungkook swallowed hard and then he turned. He walked out of the room without looking back, not saying a word, not asking for an explanation, because in that moment, he didn't want one. The next morning you woke up in your bed, head throbbing. Your body felt wrong, flashes of night before hit you in pieces. Min, his lips, your weak arms. You tried to push him, didn't you? Panic surged in your chest as you grabbed your phone. You needed Jungkook. You needed to explain. Your fingers trembled as you opened his messages. "Jungkook." The text sent, delivered. You waited and minutes passed, but nothing. Your chest tightened as you opened Instagram, offline, WhatsApp, offline. Your stomach dropped. You dialed his number. It rang a few times and then unavailable. Your heart pounded as you tried again, your hands shook. He didn't block you, he didn't curse you out, he didn't even leave a message, he just disappeared, and that's when you realized Jungkook wasn't coming back. Jungkook let out a shaky breath as he remembered that night. After leaving you home, he just couldn't face you. He was shattered, he was broken, and he left from there forever. When he found you in that room with men, disoriented, half-dressed, and unable to even stand on your own, something inside him snapped. It wasn't just the sight of you in that state that broke him. It was the overwhelming surge of betrayal and heartbreak. How could you let yourself get into that situation? The question echoed in his mind, drowning out everything else. His heart told him that you had to have been, but his mind couldn't accept the sight of you with men like that. Jungkook had warned you about him, had told you time and time again to stay away, but you ignored him. You had gone to that party knowing how much Jungkook hated the guy, and then seeing you like that with men's lips on yours, your body limp beneath him, it felt like a betrayal, so deep it made his stomach churn. Jungkook had always been there for you, protecting you, keeping you safe from anything that might hurt you. But that night, in that moment, seeing you like that, he felt useless, like all the care he had given you had meant nothing. The rage surged in him, and all he could do was pull you out. He didn't want to face you in that moment, didn't want to hear you say that it wasn't what it looked like, because part of him didn't know if he could believe you. Part of him felt like he had already lost you. Jungkook walked away convinced that if he stayed, if he listened to your explanations, it would only hurt more. His heart was too broken to trust what you might say, too shattered to believe that you didn't mean to hurt him, and the fear of being vulnerable again, of letting himself fall deeper into something that could so easily be ripped away, was unbearable. So he left. In his mind, it was better that way. It was better to disappear than to let himself be fooled again. He couldn't bear the thought of getting close to you only to have his heart shattered once more. He thought leaving you would save both of you from that pain. But deep down, he knew he was wrong. Jungkook was scared, scared of the hurt he saw, scared of the feelings he had for you that threatened to overwhelm him. He ran not because he didn't care, but because he cared too much and he didn't think he could survive another heartbreak. Jungkook's grip tightened around his keys as he glanced at the clock again. It was past midnight and you still weren't home. A restless unease gnawed at his insides, tightening his chest with every passing minute. He had already tried calling, texting, but there was nothing. He couldn't just sit here anymore. With a frustrated sigh, he stood up abruptly, grabbing his car keys and started heading towards the door. He was about to leave to drive to your company and find you himself when he heard the distant sound of the door unlocking. His heart skipped a beat and he froze in place. You walked in looking calm as always, but there was something in your eyes that Jungkook couldn't understand. You glanced at him but didn't stop or acknowledge him. It was as if he wasn't even there. You just walked past him, heading straight to your room, acting cold and distant like you had been for the past few weeks. Jungkook's chest tightened. This wasn't the first time you ignored him, but this time felt different. This time it felt like you were pulling away from him even more, and it hurt too much for him to just stand there. He couldn't let you walk away like that. Why, can you tell me what time it is to come home? You stopped in your tracks and turned towards him. His voice wasn't cold, it was filled with worry, and maybe now he really realized how it felt to be treated like you don't exist. I had work and I don't think my presence means anything here, so I prefer staying at a place I get valued. Saying that you were about to leave when he stopped you again. Let's talk, Ryan. Let's end this suffering. He walked near you and you were just looking at him with cold expressions. You didn't say anything because you wanted to hear him. I'm sorry. I know I was at fault too, but after seeing all that, I just lost my mind. Your grip on your back tightened. You reminded yourself that you won't melt seeing those tears because you tried really hard. And he never acknowledged your tears. I don't know why you are apologizing. You just reacted like how someone else would. It's not like we had enough trust between each other. It's not like I deserved a chance to explain. After all, I betrayed you so bad. Even though I was I was helpless, but of course I failed as a girlfriend. Jungkook's heart tightened at your words, and for a moment he didn't know how to respond. The bitterness in your voice cut deeper than any words he had ever heard from you. It wasn't like he didn't feel the weight of the past few weeks, but hearing you speak like that made him realize just how far apart you two had become. Ryan, I didn't mean to make you feel like that. I never meant to push you away or make you feel worthless. I know I messed up, but I thought I was protecting you. I saw you there with him and I couldn't think straight. He took a shaky step forward, his gaze desperate, searching for some hint of softness in your eyes, but you didn't give him that. You stood there unmoving, looking like you had already given up. I left because I didn't know how to fix it. I didn't know what to say or how to make it right. I was scared that if I stayed, I would only make it worse. I wasn't thinking about you, about us. I was just thinking about how much I hurt seeing you with him, even if it wasn't what I thought. He paused, wiping his face with his hand, frustration building in his chest. It was true, he had made the wrong choice, and now seeing you like this, cold and distant, it was all his fault. He had pushed you too far. I know I failed you, Ryan, and I can't take that back, but I need you to know I didn't leave because I didn't care. I left because I was scared of losing you, scared of being the one who hurt you more. But I see now that running away was the last thing I should have done. You didn't say anything at first, just standing there as he poured out his thoughts, his regrets. He was giving you everything now, every ounce of vulnerability he had, but deep down he feared it wasn't enough. He feared that you had already made up your mind, that the damage was too deep for him to fix. You finally spoke, your voice quieter now. I understand your actions in the past. I get why you left after that night. I know how it felt for you. To think I betrayed you, to think I chose someone else. I understand it all. I really do. You took a deep breath, your eyes locking with his, but your expression was cold, distant. You continued, your voice slightly trembling, trying to keep yourself composed. But Jungkook, it's the way you have treated me these last 6 months that hurts the most. In this marriage, I've been trying constantly to earn your forgiveness, to show you that I'm here, that I'm still fighting for us. But you treated me like I was a ghost. You ignored me like I didn't exist. Every attempt I made, every word I spoke, it didn't matter to you. Your grip on your back tightened as you spoke, trying to keep yourself steady. And now I have realized something. No matter how much I tried, no matter how much I cared, I can never have that place in your heart. I don't think I ever did. You paused, staring at him. Your heart was breaking with every word you said. You wanted to feel something, but all you could feel was emptiness. Jungkook stood frozen, his heart sinking deeper with every word you said. He had expected anger, maybe even bitterness, but this cold indifference was something he wasn't prepared for. The realization that he had pushed you this far, that you were now this far from him, hit him like a freight train. He opened his mouth, but no words came out. He wanted to apologize, to explain himself, but nothing seemed right. He was terrified that even if he tried, it wouldn't matter to you anymore. You know, I tried to be strong. I wanted to fight for us, fight for this marriage, but you made it clear that I didn't matter enough to you. Every time I reached out, you shut me down. I was invisible to you. Jungkook's hands clenched at his sides, his eyes now filled with regret. He knew he had hurt you, but hearing you say it so plainly, seeing the truth in your eyes made it real. It was his fault, all of it. I can't keep doing this, Jungkook. I can't keep waiting for something that will never happen. I can't keep pretending that everything will be okay when I can see how little I mean to you. You turned away, about to walk back towards your room, but Jungkook couldn't let you go like that. His feet moved on their own, and in a second he was standing in front of you, blocking your path. I never wanted you to feel like that. I never wanted you to think that you don't matter to me. You looked at him, your face void of emotion, but you didn't show me otherwise, did you? His breath hissed in his throat. No, he hadn't. Not for months. He had been so consumed with his own pride, his own pain, that he hadn't seen how much you were hurting, how much you were trying, how much you were still holding on to him. I'm sorry, I never wanted to make you feel like this, but I don't know how to fix it anymore. I don't know how to make you trust me again, how to make you believe me when you look at me this way, but please give me a chance. Let's fix it together, Ryan, please. His eyes were pleading, raw with emotion, and it hurt. It hurt more than you ever thought it would. How many chances do I give, Jungkook? How many times do I let you break me before I finally realize I'm the one holding the pieces together? Your voice was calm, but the sting of your words was unmistakable. Jungkook's breath caught in his throat. He wanted to apologize again, to promise you that this time it would be different, but he knew that no amount of words would change what had already happened. I don't know. I don't know how many chances it takes, but I know I don't want to lose you. I've never stopped loving you, Ryan, even when I screwed up. Even when I pushed you away, I was so scared of losing you that I shut down, and I'm sorry for that. I'm sorry for every mistake I made. You shook your head, feeling the weight of everything he had said, but it wasn't enough, not anymore. You had spent so much time waiting for him to see you, for him to recognize the hurt and still come back to you. But now it felt like you were just done. You say that now, but when I needed you the most, where were you, Jungkook? You walked away. You didn't even let me explain myself. You didn't care enough to listen. You didn't trust me, and you didn't trust us. Jungkook's throat tightened. He knew you were right. He had walked away believing the worst, but it was too late to take back that decision. He had seen the way you looked at him now, distant, almost like a stranger. The truth, the bond they had once shared, had crumbled, and he couldn't just rebuild it overnight. This time he was the one who sheltered you. I know, I know I can't take back the past, but I need you to understand. I was so hurt. I saw you like that with him, and I lost it. I didn't know what to think, but that night I never wanted to make you feel like you didn't have a voice. I should have believed you. I should have been there for you no matter what, and I'll regret that for the rest of my life. Your chest tightened, your heart beating painfully against your ribs. He sounded so sincere, and part of you wanted to give in, wanted to believe him, but you couldn't keep forgiving him, couldn't keep excusing his actions when all you had ever wanted was someone to stay, to fight for you. I don't need apologies anymore, Jungkook. I need someone who will choose me first, even when things get messy, someone who won't run away when things get hard. But I'm tired of waiting for that person to come back. I need to move on. His eyes welled up and he took a step towards you. His voice was cracking. Please don't say that. Don't walk away from me, Ryan. I can't lose you. I'll do anything, just please don't give up on us. You didn't speak right away. You looked at him, feeling the pain of everything you had been through, and in that silence you made a decision, a painful one, but one you knew was for the best. I never wanted to give up on us, Jungkook, but you made me. I'm sorry, Jungkook. I can't keep doing this. I can't keep holding on to something that has already slipped away. His face fell and he stood there watching you with eyes full of heartbreak. You turned away slowly, stepping towards the door. Every part of you screamed to turn back, to take him in your arms and tell him you could try again. But you knew better. You knew you deserved more than empty promises and unspoken fears. You opened the door and with one last glance at him, you walked away. Jungkook stood still, staring at the spot where you had been moments ago. His heart ached, his chest tight with the realization that he had lost you, and this time there was no coming back.